For those of you that are caught up or that just want spoilers anyway, here we go back into our season 6 BTS, and you do not want to miss this week, I guarantee you. First things first, of course, The Chosen is in Italy. But real quick before we get to that, let's talk about our sponsor for today's video, and that is, of course, Come and See. Come and See is the nonprofit behind The Chosen who helps to fund the project. They make sure that all the fundraising can be done through our donations to Come and See, as well as just helping The Chosen to get the show filmed overall. They ask them, hey, what do you need for this next season? And they try their best to get that done so that everything is paid for and we can have the show that we all love. Now, there are two ways that you can help with season 6 for this massive crucifixion movie that they're putting together that's going to cost them nearly $30 million. The first is 16 for 16. That is $16 for the 16 days The Chosen is in Italy. Now this comes out to $256, and if you make that donation, well, you're going to get a lot of extra perks, including insider access, so that when the show releases on Amazon Prime, you're actually going to get special access on the Chosen app itself, which is really, really cool. Now, if you want to go above and beyond, you can do a $1,000 donation in order to get your name in the credits of this crucifixion movie, which I think is a huge perk. Remember, this movie is going to be around for a really long time, and your name will permanently be attached to it. I think that's just really amazing. So there are a lot of different things you can do. Even if you want to donate $5 or $10, Come and See could really use your help. So check out the link in my description down below, or scan this QR code right here, and you guys can go be a part of what The Chosen is doing. All right, let's get back to the video.
Buongiorno, ciao. We are in Italy. Is that surprising? Look at this unbelievable view. Believe it or not.
So they are in Matera. Matera is an ancient city, basically, that has a lot of really, really cool stuff. What other gigantic movie about Jesus was filmed here? The Passion of the Christ. And so clearly they have a pretty good standing with another movie that's being filmed there. It's just funny that they both went to the same location to film the crucifixion specifically. But we'll see how it looks. I think it's going to look similar to the Passion of the Christ in some ways, but obviously much different, being The Chosen itself. And so we see them here. Now, I had a lot of information about this. I had a lot of information about this week, and I really wanted to talk about it early. However, I couldn't because I actually got told about this from Come and See. And we're going to talk about Come and See later on in this video. They're actually sponsoring this video, which is insane to me, that I get to work with an amazing company like Come and See. But we'll talk about them a little bit later. There's some really, really big fundraising that they're going to be doing for the future of The Chosen season 6, and this movie that they're doing is going to cost somewhere around $30 million, which is crazy. But again, if you think about the connection to these other pieces of content like Marvel or DC or any of the movies that are coming out now, right? Those budgets are like 180 million, 200 million, a bunch of different stuff like that. So 30 million does not sound like that much in the grand scheme of things, if you think about it. But let's listen a little bit more to Dallas here.
We are not actually live. This is pre-recorded because of the time zone difference. If you were watching it live right now, it's 8 o'clock Eastern in America. I would be sleeping. So we recorded this a little bit early, but this is unbelievable. This is where we are filming during the month of June. We are filming our crucifixion episode, our crucifixion movie, which I'll talk more about later, here in Italy. It is unbelievable. Just so you know, if you are watching on YouTube, please say something in the chat.
We're going to fast forward here. We're going to go to some of the other parts where he shows us a little bit of the set here, and we'll get to some of the interesting parts.
Set. Behind me, where you just saw, is where we're going to be filming most of the crucifixion, where we're going to be filming Jesus walking down the Via Dolorosa.
Don't worry, I have some very, very interesting pictures to show you, so please stay for this video.
But this set that I'm about to walk on is also one of the sets that we are using. I wanted to show you, this is not exactly the most uplifting, joyous place where we are going to be filming, but this is an ancient church that has been here for hundreds and hundreds of years, if not thousands. I'm not sure the exact dates, but this is where we are going to be filming a key scene with Jesus and the Roman soldiers who are mocking him and spitting on him. And while they're doing that inside, where I'll take you in just a moment, outside, this is where Romans would train, and where they're doing some of their practice and training for some of the soldiers. And behind me here, if you can see, is a bush of thorns. And yes, you can imagine what happens because of that thorn bush. And that is where, of course, we see one of the soldiers grab several strands of thorns, and that will be taking place here. So
yeah, so the crown of thorns is coming. I'm actually going to show you a picture of it here in a second. We've already seen a little bit of it when Jonathan was wearing it on set in our previous behind the scenes, but I'm actually going to show you a close-up of the actual crown of thorns here in a second. Now, this is I believe it's the Jerusalem thorns is what it's called. It's like a specific type of plant. But these thorns are like 3 inches, 4 inches long. It's crazy.
Keep coming with me. This is going to be an unconventional live stream, as you can tell. I'm walking around a little bit. I'm about to sit down, but we're going to be a little bit more unconventional. I don't have my usual setup. All
right, let's continue on here. Skip forward a little bit to this section inside as he talks about this stuff here.
Described. Colin, how does it looking? Going from bright to dark. Sometimes that is a little funky. All right, it looks pretty good. So this set right here, when we are filming in it, this is behind this desk. There will be the person who's kind of overseeing the crucifixion, overseeing.
Kind of cool stuff here. We got like the 10th Legion insignia here. The person that's going to be like the secretary at the desk here, getting ready for Jesus to go out and carry his cross.
The torture of Jesus. And a lot of that, some of those scenes that of the torture of Jesus, the whipping will be done in Texas. But here in Italy, this is where...
So in Texas, whenever you guys go for Texas, it looks like the whipping is going to be done there as well. It's going to be pretty intense.
We call this kind of the staging area. And so before the crucifixion, this is where Jesus is taken. You can see the jail cells behind me. And then in this room, after he has been scourged, is where there will be, kind of a circle of Roman soldiers who will be mocking and abusing him before he is then taken out to be crucified. So,
all right. So that was one of the main sections here that he talks about through this section. Of course, then he goes on to merch and some different things there. One of the people that I did want to show that Chris talks to later is this guy, because this guy talks. He introduces him as the guy that is going to pierce Jesus's side, which is really, really interesting.
Emotional. It's been intense.
You can see how Jonathan's frame has changed too. He seems a lot more gaunt. His eyes are a little bit more sunken. I'm sure he's tired in this video as well, but you can tell Jonathan is really holding some heavy weight here for the season, which no doubt is the case for sure.
Tense.
So you're the soldier that's gonna whip Jesus.
Yeah,
and you're gonna get him with the spear.
Mock.
So this soldier here is going to whip Jesus, and then he's going to pierce his side later on.
Him quite a bit, and I think, it was an interesting one because when I researched him, he's obviously a real character that originated from somewhere around Turkey, we think, and so that gave me something to go on in terms of his discipline and what his objectives were and all that. Yeah,
there's been some.
So really interesting. So interesting we see that character. He talks about his mom and her reaction to him getting this role as well.
Because everyone knows the story in the Bible, who spears Jesus, and she was like, well, she took a moment, and I was, we're portraying it. It's obviously not a real thing, but it's sentimental. But I think our job as actors is to portray something as accurately as we're told we should portray it, rather than we're not those characters. So there's a lot in that, and I do, having been brought up as a Catholic and not I practiced growing up and then fell out of it, and then sort of rethinking my whole place within that now. I do feel like sometimes when I'm doing the scenes with Jonathan, I do a little sign of the cross just before, just to make sure I'm good.
That's so interesting. Anyway, so we get that little bit there from the chosen set. Before I get to the really, really, really juicy stuff, I wanted to talk about this video here. It's a really short one, so we'll jump back into this. Everybody screaming their back, and then we're going to talk about these different things here. So let's jump a little bit forward as we jump into this.
Shot of season 6. Yeah, come, let's take a look. But we can't get in the way.
So this is going to be pretty old. This is going to be like the first day back filming, which is with Claudia and Joanna. We talked about this many, many, many weeks ago. They're already, really far into filming at this point, but they're pretty late behind. Normally The Chosen is about a week behind when they're doing behind the scenes updates. This one, they lagged a lot, and that's probably on purpose, would be my guess, in order to kind of stretch it out quite a bit. But this is all the way back to the beginning of the BTS here.
You're in the way.
You're in the shot. Yep. Durbin, day one. Come on.
He's already in the shot.
Day one. Day one. I'm in the shot.
So there's Claudia there. We get Pilot as well.
We've got a lot of work to do this year, but we're going to get to do it together. And let's be good to each other and protect each other on this set, whether we're here, whether we're in Utah, whether we're in
So there he said Italy or Matera, one of the two.
Texas. That's here. Yeah, we're back. But I appreciate you. I wouldn't want to do this with anyone else. So thanks again. Welcome to day one.
Seasons.
Let me see real fast. That's interesting. Okay, so the slate here, whenever he hits it down and it says The Chosen there, very cool. We actually see that this is in episode 5. You can see that 504 there in take 1. So this is the first take that they've done for this section. I think this is the first take of the entire show that they've done so far. It says The Chosen there, though. I actually heard from Mr. LeBlanc, who is the sound guy for The Chosen, and he is the one that actually writes on the slate to show like what is actually happening here. And sometimes he'll actually put a Bible verse after this slate number here. He'll put a Bible verse in there as well. He DM'd me to tell me about that because he wanted me to sleuth it out when we can. So very, very cool of him for sure. So we'll keep an eye on the slates to see if there's any Bible verses that pop up in that digital section every once in a while. And that will be, I think his name's Mark LeBlanc. Yeah, very cool.
Season 6.
It's so heavy.
So we get a little bit of a showing there of people running around.
Seasons.
People running around there.
6.
It's so heavy.
It's heartbreaking.
It's gonna be dark.
Dark?
I was surprised by the fact that everyone still has the ability to be light in between takes. Yeah, we're not saving the world, we're just making a show that involves very important things to portray. And I think we need that back and forth.
I'm trying to remind myself to smile and have fun in between the really...
Oof. So we get, let's see here. So here is where they're carrying the cross. We don't see Jesus in this particular shot, I don't think. Yeah, but we do get one of the other thieves on the cross. This big bald guy here is one of the thieves here. We're going to see him again, so keep him in mind. We also see some of the people over here. We got Mother Mary. We got Mary Magdalene, Tamar. I think Eden is over here as well. Here's Mary of Bethany. Martha's probably nearby as well. We've got the makeup artist here going through, and we've got one of the prop masters holding one of the patibulums here, which is the part of the cross that they're carrying through the city.
In between the really heavy...
And then here we've got Malchus and Peter and Mary Magdalene.
I don't even know if it's bittersweet. I think it's just bitter right now. And knowing what we have to film this season is going to be so brutal.
Brutal is the word I think that comes to mind.
So here's Jonathan. This is probably at the beginning of the day before he's going through a bunch of stuff. I want you to remember this outfit as well, because we are going to be talking about that too.
For how I would describe season 6. I think
There's Jesus in his overnight uniform, his hoodie uniform. This is when he's arrested.
Season 6 is asking more of me than any of the seasons have so far. It's asking more of me physically, spiritually.
So there he is arrested.
Emotionally.
I might be in some of these shots. I'm not going to pause it to check, but yeah, I might be in some of these shots here.
And we're actually watching the show when we first started. So for this season, it's really challenging, it's really exhausting, It's been tough on our families. The weather's been tough. The energy's been tough. This is our longest season yet. But when you guys show up, it's like a little taste of joy that we get to experience.
Lots of fun, for sure. I love being on set with them, for sure.
It's a fist bump, John.
Praying for you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you.
I don't know you, but I feel like I'm attached.
I know. I love it. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I kind of do feel like in this first week, it is kind of thrown into the deep end a little bit, which is what season 6 feels like right at the start. We've kind of just been shocked, I would say. And I think that fits the vibe of season 6.
What? You got cooking, right, okay.
There's a different vibe permeating this entire atmosphere, you know, and so it feels special and sad.
You know, it's like those events in life that happen where like now you're graduating high school or you're graduating college or you're reaching the end of something and it's just hard to believe like we're already there.
It's a very somber and quiet season.
I love these guys. I really love these guys. They're some of the producers, of the show. And yeah, these guys are awesome. I love Chad and Chris and a lot of the guys over there, but these two are so funny.
You can just feel the subject matter daily. And it's rough because we're going to be sitting in this for another 60, 55 days.
Yeah, and then we have to edit it and watch it all again.
2, 3, I don't think anything.
So did you hear that real fast? Let's go back a little bit. Got people moving around here. So he says earthquake there. So our sleuthing from before paid off.
I don't think anything can top this, to tell you the truth. Yeah.
Amazing.
I think we're all sensing that this is nearing the end. So I think there's already this sort of nostalgia for.
There's Judas's sister. That's really interesting. She's there with Big James.
Doing something.
And
that we're in the.
Is that Yusuf? I can't tell. Judas is here as well.
Love.
I mean, it's more challenging and it's more emotional. Obviously, it's heavier, but we treat it the same way. We're always looking for the truth, looking for the humanity, looking for the authenticity. It's not like you walk into this and it feels like a church service. It's a working set that we're trying to capture something that later may feel like a church service when you watch it. It's still emotional at times, and it still hits me occasionally, like it did yesterday.
He was crying behind his monitor.
Yeah, I still got a job to do. Yeah. But sometimes God's going to hit you regardless of whether you're ready for it or not.
And it's going to hit you. You hear that? They just filmed an incredible scene, and now they're about to jump into another one, but it's a spoiler.
There's going to be so many more videos coming your way because season 6 is a heavy season, and we want to show you what we can of some of the incredible things that are happening this season on The Chosen.
We're going to go through this frame by frame as well. Here we go. So beautiful, beautiful. This is in Matera again, just to clarify. Super, super great location. Looks great. Again, it's going to remind you a little bit of the Passion of the Christ because they filmed in the same location. All these different props and stuff. Man, it must have been such a logistical nightmare to film here, man. I do not envy Adam Drake for sure. I'm going to turn down the audio here just so we don't get copyright on this. We've got Tamar and Mary here, as well as Eden in the back there, and then Shmuel, and I think Mother Mary. And then a bunch of Romans and different people. A lot of these people are going to be local actors that they had to probably hire in the area. And then, of course, they have their main actors that they have to bring in. So my guess is that this section here is probably the Via Dolorosa. This section here is probably a portion of the Via Dolorosa where they're going to have Jesus walking down here with the cross. That'll be my guess. I wonder how they're going to merge that all together with parts that they filmed in Utah and things as well. We got Tamar there. We've got, Salome's there finally. Mary Salome, the Son of Thunder's mom, finally is there. Of course, she has to be for the cross. So we finally get her here. I know you can't really see, she's like cut off, but that definitely is her. And there's Jesus's crown of thorns. I'll show you another picture of that in a bit. Here we're seeing some stand-ins, probably it looks like. Okay, yeah, I don't think so. Sorry, I was just thinking to myself something that's going to come up in a bit. So here we see them carrying their crosses down. We've got one in front here, one in the middle, and then one in the back here. I think the front one is going to be Jesus. Here. Yeah, they've done a pretty good job of hiding or keeping it far enough away so it's hard to see. I can't tell if Simon of Cyrene is helping him yet or not. Kind of looks like it. We know that Simon is going to be helping him here, carrying the cross. I think that might be Simon with him helping him carry already. And then here we have all the women following along, and then the next thief behind them, and then the one behind him. Let's see here. Yeah, pretty intense stuff, obviously, as they're kind of going through. Again, they're hiding Jesus for the most part here, as he's going through. And the women here crying, of course. Beautiful set, though. Again, this is where Passion of the Christ filmed. I mean, it's a beautiful place. There are the 3 crosses there, along with the placard on top, or at least one of the placards. We actually see the main one from Dallas. He actually put a picture up of it as well. All the prop people getting the wood ready to look that way. Didn't that look like Mel Gibson? That guy looked so much like Mel Gibson. This guy right here, I know it's not, but it definitely looks like him. That's crazy. We got the Legionnaires stuff, the Roman stuff here. And then all the Pharisees and people coming in. There's Mary and Martha, Tamar and Mary. And then there's Yusuf, he's here as well. That's interesting. Not Yusuf, Yanni and Shmuel. The Romans here setting up the crosses. Here we see Jesus is basically right behind this. So he's wearing that purple outer coat to try to mock him there, as well as the crown of thorns. So he's right behind this Roman here as they're looking forward. This is when he's going to look basically his worst here. And then here you can see a little tiny bit, if I move my camera here, you can see a little tiny bit of Jonathan, his leg here. If you look over, just a little tiny bit of his leg as the women kind of lurch forward and try to basically help him. This is where Jesus actually falls, and we're also going to see Simon of Cyrene here. So Jesus falls, they lurch forward to help him. The Romans stop them from helping here. Then we go to another angle, and we see from the left side of the screen here, we're going to see Simon of Cyrene. You see as he puts down the patibulum, and he's actually going to help Jesus as he's fallen again. So by this point, Simon is actually carrying Jesus's patibulum, and Jesus is probably walking on his own, but he's actually fallen near to the cross here. You see Simon going to help him here. Yeah, super interesting. Simon is that bird vendor we saw earlier. That definitely, confirms it, as we thought we saw him in season 5, and so definitely that is going to be him there. Now, I told you that I have some crazy things to show you. I promise you, I am not done. We didn't even get to my behind the scenes here yet, and there's not a ton of it, but there is going to be some really good stuff here. So let me bring this down and we'll get into this. So this is Dallas earlier in the week getting props ready before they were filming here in Italy. You see the crown of thorns there, a little bit closer view of it. You can see that, that's there. I wonder how they got it to fit comfortably for Jonathan and make it so it's not actually poking him, you know, making it uncomfortable. But that's the crown of thorns there. Pretty intense. Here is Dallas walking on the streets of Matera here in Italy. And again, this is before he revealed where this was. Walking the footsteps of Jesus. Not really. It's in Italy. He never went to Italy. But walking the Via del Rosa probably here is what he's kind of referencing as the text is there. So Jesus will most likely be going down there. I grabbed this photo because it seems like Joanna was there as well with the women. So she seems to be in Italy as well, which is pretty cool. And then here, I actually have to shout out a friend of the channel. You know who you are. I got an email helping me to navigate things on Facebook. I don't often go on Facebook, but there was a ton. I'm talking like probably close to like 30 different leakers on Facebook that talked about Matera. They talked about The Chosen filming in Italy this past week. Just people that were there for their vacations, or they're locals that posted about it, different things like that. So thank you to the legend that sent me this email. I really appreciate it. This is where I got a lot of this material from that we're going to look at here. But here is one of the people that they sent over to me. It said, trek down the valley and up the other side in 1 million degrees, seen some rocks, some rock churches and more cave dwellings, discovered some interesting Italian wiring, but this time it's the film crew's temporary install for the filming of the new season of The Chosen, although no one is filming today. No work on a Sunday by order of Italian BECTU. Then drinks. Well, it's a hot day. So she saw some of the set for The Chosen, which here they weren't filming on, but here are the 3 crosses here as she was going through that. She or he, I don't know who this was actually. Here's an image of the city from them while they're on their vacation. And then another image of those 3 crosses later on where The Chosen was filming on them. So you can see those 3 crosses. I know it's super small for you guys. I'll try to zoom in here. Let me do a big old zoom here. So you can see the 3 crosses there. And the crew setting everything up there. Continuing on. We've got some other people basically just confirming that it's Matera, all that kind of stuff. Again, another confirm of Matera and another image of them working on the crosses here. In Matera, everything is set for the filming of The Chosen, a well-known American television series conceived, written, and directed by Dallas Jenkins. So there's a translation there. Another image there from the set there. Fan of The Chosen, season 6 is setting up in Matera, Italy. What you're seeing are sets, props, etc. I chose not to sign a contract. I blocked out their name just in case they were going to get in trouble, but if they didn't sign a contract, they should be fine. So some of the images sent from this person here. And we see the city itself, which is really beautiful. I mean, really, really cool. This cross, I believe, is the cross from the Passion of the Christ that they decided to keep here as a tourist attraction. So the cross right on top of the hill there is, I think, that cross from the movie. And then here we've got some behind the scenes sets, some different things, some props, and then the set for the crosses themselves, of course, which we've seen from a bunch of different angles here. And here's some people kind of walking around, getting stuff ready. Here's another person that's just verifying, hey, The Chosen is in Italy. They're in Matera doing rehearsals and stuff. And here's a small pan of the city itself here, which again is just really beautiful. I mean, it looks really, really cool. Oldest city in Italy, Matera. Again, they're confirming that The Chosen is being filmed here. This is all the stuff I couldn't share, right? Here we've got Mr. Franco, who is the actor for David. I don't know if they're going to film anything with David, but he did post that he is nearby. He is in Isola I don't even know how you say that, Polvese, and it's in more northern Italy, whereas Matera is kind of like down here. So Matera is kind of more closer to the boot end here, and he's up here. So pretty close, you know. Maybe he's filming something with them, maybe not. Maybe he's just there for a different thing. Yeah, someone put in the chat that I called Italy. I did call Italy, but I couldn't talk about it before. I did figure it out beforehand, and then I got the deal with Come and See, and so they told me a lot of the behind-the-scenes information about Italy and stuff. So then I wasn't able to talk about it because I signed a paper that said I wouldn't talk about it until they talked about it on stream. So, so I was happy I was right, but then I was kind of muzzled. I couldn't talk about it. So here's another image of the set over there. Doesn't look like they've actually filmed with Jonathan up on the cross yet, but maybe they're just not sharing any pictures of that, or people haven't seen any of that. Here's some just random footage from people that were around the city when the actors were moving through and things like that. I promise you by the end of this footage, it'll make sense why I'm hyping this up near the end here. We get a bunch of the actors. There we've got one of the thieves, and then we've got Mary Salome moving in here. Then we also have this secondary bald thief that's coming in next. So this is the secondary bald thief right there. Then we've got some others. We've got some people that look just like extras here. And then, of course, we got some of our main actors like Tamar and John, and I think Eden is here as well. So we get some cool stuff there. Now here is one of the main shots that I wanted to talk about. You have to tell me, is this Jonathan? I think this is Jonathan, but it's really hard to tell because his nose looks a little bit different. And it could just be the quality of this photo or the shadow that's on his face or the blood that's on his face. I do think this is Jonathan though, with his collar here. It's the same exact outfit, and I don't think they would have put this much makeup and stuff on a stand-in, for example. And we already know what the other two thieves on the cross look like, so it wouldn't make sense that they would look this much like Jesus. So this is pretty rough. This is the closest image we've gotten of Jonathan in his full makeup and stuff for this. And so you can see, I mean, it looks pretty rough. I think this is Jonathan. I could be wrong about that. Could be a body double. Could be a number of things. He looks pretty similar, but I think the nose looks a bit different. And I can't tell if that's because of makeup or anything else. Yeah, I just don't know. So we continue on. We actually get some more footage. There's some people that are kind of stalking this guy. So as we continue on, we see more people kind of following him through the city. Again, I don't really know how Jonathan walks, so it's hard for me to say if it's him or not, if he's just being careful on the slippery rocks, etc. But they kind of follow him for a while and just get some footage of him. Then the last thing here is the placard that is on top of Jesus's cross. I believe this is the placard that's on Jesus's cross in particular, and so that will say the King of the Jews essentially, and so that is what's on the placard there. You can see the patibulum and how it's racked in to the main cross beam here, and yeah, pretty intense stuff for sure. That is what we got for our season 6 behind the scenes for today. Like I said, we've got a ton of stuff to go through. Thank you guys so much for being very epic and being here with me through the season 6 BTS and all of our deep dives. We've got so much to come. So hang in there, buckle up, and of course, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.